Hey, you there. Just wanted to let you know you are now listening to the AK Mindset Podcast.
Alright, we're back, episode 33, talking live action and another surprise, blank canvas review. We talked about it like episode 30-ish. You know, I don't think maybe some of you thought we weren't going to read it, but we did. We keep our promises, so...
100% they thought we weren't making it here, bro. Because even I thought that. Because I was 15 chapters in, you hollered me, you said, Rajah, have you read it yet? And I was like, that's a good question.
Let the record show that I had read the series. Let me even look at my thing, like 2 months ago. So like, just know the people who were delaying. You can't say the name was Daniel, but it's Daniel here, by the way. What about you guys? Who else is with me today?
It's Ed. To be fair, I planted myself in it and I got reading, finished it. Then we're waiting for the other guy.
Of course, the other guy is me, Rajel. And let me just say this straight away. Daniel was on to me. Daniel said in the group chat, let it be known that I will not be reading this again. And from there, I knew I had to pat it up.
I did say that.
From then, I was like, yeah, this guy is serious. I have to make sure I read this thing. So I was like, hey, I had to put down my book that I was reading, prioritize this manga, because I knew when time came down to it, I knew I couldn't be like, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I haven't read it. But I made it.
Yes, we made it. So we'll be talking about that later on in the episode. But first, we wanted to talk about some live action stuff. But before we get into that, you know the spiel by now. Follow us on the socials, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're active on all of those platforms. And if you're listening, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, because we're trying to expand, grow, expand our network. So we're always wanting to reach new listeners. So please share the podcast as well and leave a review on Spotify. They've got reviews on there, and you can also leave a comment as well. So yeah, now with all of that promotional stuff on the way, we can discuss the live action stuff. So I'll hand it off to my guy Rajel.
Okay, let me set pace with this live action talk. I had like two kind of thoughts. And when I was thinking about live actions, both of them were kind of contradicting each other. Because firstly, I was thinking all live actions to some extent are probably just good in themselves. So when you see the live actions that I've seen on Netflix, like the Bleach one, some of the Attack on Titan, the Gantz, like I've watched it and it's not horrific if you just watch it as a standalone piece of entertainment. Like the things they do, and obviously can't really compare to the animation. Obviously, that's why animation is so distinct, because you're able to do stuff creatively that you're unable to create in reality in real life. But also, I come from the other angle at the same exact time. This is why the contradiction came in strong, that they are very unnecessary. I would legit think that no one should ever be thinking of creating a live action. I think it doesn't make sense. In my view, like you're either lacking creativity or you just want to jump on something that's already established and successful. And live actions are like the cheat code. They're like the Disney package that they're doing. Just remake things that we already know. You know what I mean? It's so dead. It's like, what? No creativity. Is this where we're at? Is this what you guys are on? So that's where like I feel like we have to be super critical and saying that these men just need to be stopped. You tell them no more live actions. It's like on one hand normal live actions, and the other hand when they are created, and of course we live in a world where they have already been created, we can't be too harsh on them. You know what I mean? You just have to take it as what it is.
We can't be harsh.
You might see where I'm coming from.
I get where you're coming from, but there's two things you need to be harsh on: that live Avatar thing and Dragon Ball.
That doesn't exist.
Those two, you can be harsh on. You can harsh on those two because they were doo-doo. But yeah, to be fair, I always thought like, why is it necessary to do a live action? But I always thought it's like a money grab. I can't lie to you. That's the point. I think that's the kind of aspect they're coming from. But at the same time, I've heard so many people say live action is trash. So I'm like, who's watching it then? How is there a money grab if people are not watching it and people are saying it's trash? But at the same time, people hate watch a lot. So
They have too
I
much
get
time.
exactly, they have too much time. I'm trying like people like check it out for like, you know what, I don't trust it, but let me check out the first episode. But I know people fully watch the whole thing because they're like, you know what, I'm gonna watch it just to prove that it's bad. It's like, why do you have time, bro? So I don't even know I don't know if it's necessary because it's just I don't know. But at the same time, I've watched like 4 live actions in my life when it comes to anime specifically. Is the non-existent Dragon Ball one, the non-existent Avatar one, the Attack on Titan one, and the Gantz one. And my favorite one is the Gantz one, and that's because I didn't read or watch the series when I watched that live action, and it was gas. I loved it.
Oh, okay.
I loved it. Then I read the manga and anime. I was like, okay, that went from like a 8 out of 10 solid like live action to like a 6. But at the same time, I think if you watch it by itself without affiliation to the other ones, I think most of the live action might be actually really good. But I think when you come from a point of view of so many anime fans watching the animes already and reading the manga already, like what's the point? Like what is the actual point of just bringing it out again? And most of this live action, they have no, like the creator of the series have no involvement in them. So like, what's the point? Like, why are we doing this? But that's my opinion still. But yeah.
Let me quickly add, Ed, like you legit spat it out, like you said it like it is. The real, there is actually a market. The market is what you've mentioned. The market is people who have not watched anime at all and are interested just one-off on a Netflix and stuff, and you can watch it. Generally, you will be entertained because it's going to be very different from anything you've experienced, especially if you haven't seen anything in the world of anime and stuff. And if you have no connections, like you said, prior to the stories, you have no context, you have no level of expectations of what you think should happen and what should be available when you view it, then you're going to enjoy it. Because that's how I think I appreciate some of those random live actions that are always on Netflix for some reason. Because bro, I have no experience with the content, the material, and even when I did, like, I'm not really a harsh critic. So even though I said they shouldn't exist because it's unnecessary. But if they do exist, we can't be harsh critically on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless it's a blatant money grab, and then we can go full off.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, like you guys have watched more live actions than I even expected. Because for me, I think I've only seen one, which is the Dragon Ball one, and that was like years ago. So yeah, Attack on Titan. As soon as I hear live action and anime, I'm like, cool, be easy in it, because I'm not gonna be there. So, I mean, yeah, I'm very opposed. For me, I know I'm not gonna enjoy it, so I'm just like, cool, I'm just not gonna watch it. You see, you hate watching. I don't understand that. It's just dumb to me. It's always dumb. Like, why would you watch something you know you're not gonna enjoy and then complain about it? I'm not even gonna listen to what you're gonna say, because to me, you're just silly. Like, you just don't value your time. But whatever. Anyway, live actions. Yeah, the Bleach one. I was like, I'm not entertaining this. Attack on
Yeah, I
Titan.
refuse to watch that. To be fair.
I didn't entertain it. So like, I can't even like comment on if they're necessary. I don't even feel like I've watched enough to even have an opinion. But what I feel in my head is like, I understand bringing it into the real life setting, but for me it doesn't really make sense, because it's anime for a reason, because like some of the things they're doing is so difficult to do in real life. So when you try and do it in real life, it doesn't really translate. And then a lot of them just try to be anime but in real life, when that's the wrong approach in my opinion, which is why so many of them flop, like Cowboy Bebop. I remember that one. Ha!
Oh, that was so hyped up. That was so hyped up.
It
And
stunk.
to be honest, the trailers look good. That's the worst thing. And that's what scares me about this One Piece thing. Because like the trailers of the Cowboy Bebop, looked elite. The way they were getting reacted to, those good kind of publicity and good hype surrounding that, when like the expectation, and because of that, expectation just was through the roof. And that's kind of following the same sequence that we're having in a week's time when One Piece drops
No, a week's
on.
time.
When is
2
it
days,
dropping? A
bro.
week,
Two,
2 days. You see, I mean,
3 days even. 3 days, sorry.
It's Friday.
in 3 days when it drops. Like,
To be fair, I think
I'm
that Cowboy
scared.
Bebop one. I was so surprised it was bad because it felt like one of the animes that it might do good if they put like proper budget into it, because it was not that crazy from what I've watched. To be fair, the Cowboy Bebop series, I stopped it because I got spoiled on the ending. So I'm like, oh, and there's a massive spoiler as well. So it's like, why me, bro? But I couldn't make an excuse because it's been out for a while, innit? But the spoiler still affected me. So I was like, I'm not gonna watch the live action and like get the whole story from a live action. And I can just be patient and like get over the spoiler and continue the series. But I feel like it's so much easier to do compared to like a Dragon Ball or like a Avatar or like a One Piece, because this series, the things like Daniel said, the things that happen in the series are so crazy that it's like it makes sense to be a manga. It makes sense to be even a comic if you translate it to a comic. It makes sense to be an anime. But how are you gonna do Super Saiyan in oh my god. But yeah, I don't know. Cowboy Bebop one, I don't know. I was surprised it didn't flop, to be fair. But yeah, crazy.
Mm. But I guess, like, speaking, Rizal, you mentioned the One Piece live action. I mean, I know we've all spoken about this before, like on previous episodes and then some of the update episodes as well. Now we're like finally at the start line, uh, and I feel like after a couple of trailers, a lot of opinion has somehow turned towards positive, and then you have those people who are like fixed in their lanes. So I guess what I wanted to just ask is like, what is your perspective going into the show when it drops? Are you gonna watch it immediately? Are you gonna be looking online to see what people are saying? Like, what do you what's your plan for it basically?
Yeah, I think generally speaking, I'm going to try and go in with optimism, just because of, mostly this is just due to the nature of the show. It's such a light-hearted, Luffy, abundance of you know, joy and looking to the future with some optimism and hope. So that's how I'm going to take it. And hopefully, if they're, the thing for me, I don't need them to do a lot. I just need them to kind of capture the spirit to One Piece. And then from there, whatever you're able to produce in regards to the details that sometimes people would expect in regards to just how it looks and characters, how certain things have to be adjusted. But right now, I'm kind of very happy what I've seen. I saw the Denda Mushi looking kind of clean. Can't lie to you. It's the Denda Mushi image was funny because it feels like it's something straight out of like a horror kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like it's kind of scary, isn't it?
it's creepy. But that's what it's going to be like for a lot of these things, because like in the anime, then the Mushi is kind of a bit cute, but when you see it in real life, it's just like, bro, yeah, I forgot. Snails are not cute in real life. They are not pretty.
Disgusting, bro.
Yeah,
Horrific, horrific. It was. I was feeling very uncomfortable when I was looking at it.
with the
But
teeth as
that's
well.
the bro. And yeah, man, I think those are the kind of bumps we're gonna have to get over, like when reviewing this One Piece. And just as long as for me it captures the vibe, I'm more than happy to stick the journey. I'm definitely going to be on it from the first episode. I want to be involved with a potential historical moment in anime. You know, this might be the one to break the mold. So yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, it's been a journey for me, low key, because I went from like, I'm not watching this. It's live action. I'm not watching it. Then my ears perked up and it's like, oh, others involved heavily. Oh, I was like thinking about it. To like a couple of weeks ago, I was like on the fence. Like, okay, I'll give it a chance. I'll give it a chance. No, but now I'm like, I've seen some stills, some videos, the trailers, and it looks good. It looks good. to be fair, it's better than I expected them out. Like when we had the first time, it's like One Piece live action. The first question was like, how are they gonna do Luffy stretchiness, bro, in live action? It's gonna look goofy. So, but at the same time, Luffy is goofy, but they're gonna make it look extra goofy. But it's been a journey, and now I'm looking forward to it, low key. Because I even saw a clip of Sanji cooking in the baratier with Zeph and everyone. I was like, okay, this actually looks good. It looks good. So I'll be there from the first episode. I refuse to like look at the internet before I like go into it because I feel like it's just gonna affect how I view it. So I'm gonna watch it first for my opinions. Like from the very when it comes out, I'm watching it. I haven't had Netflix in a long time because I've been busy with my dissertation and everything. So I'm gonna get Netflix fresh just for this. Catch up on some of my K dramas and I'll be watching One Piece as well. So I'll be there front seats and I'm literally excited. I'm literally excited. I wasn't. It's crazy because before, like I said, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be there. But now it seems like I'm there front seats. Maybe not front seats, but like the third row.
Bro, we know you'll be front seats. I'll be front seats as
row,
well. Let's not be acting. I'll be.
No,
do you know?
third row. Third row.
I'll be beyond front seats. Like I won't even sit on the seat. I
How
saw
are
an
you
image
gonna
the
see
other
them?
day. Bro, I saw an image the other day. There were two kids and they were just lying on the floor in front of the screen watching the film. That's gonna be me.
Okay.
Unhealthy. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think that says a lot, to be fair. So my only hope is I hope it doesn't disappoint me because I feel like if this flops, it's gonna affect my viewpoint on live actions forever, bro. Forever. Like anything that comes out, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna be there at all. I don't even care what if they say the person like owed himself is animating it. I don't care. So I really hope it goes really well. And on the point of like the snails looking scary, we need to deal with that because Buggy looks terrifying. I know Buggy was supposed to be like a serious like villain in the first bit, but he was still a little bit goofy. I was still laughing at him, but he looks terrifying, and it makes sense because a clown that can dismember himself and move around is a scary thought in like real life. But One Piece made it look. I feel like there's going to be so many things like that. Like once they introduce fishmen, like Alan looks terrifying already. Like Jinbei and that, it's going to look odd, bro. It's going to look terrifying. So I think the show might take a serious note, like a serious kind of point of view, without intending to, because some of the characters and some of the actions just look terrifying in real life. So it'll be interesting to see how to navigate that. But I'm anticipating it. To be fair, let's see how it goes.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll probably do the same approach as you had. I'll watch I might watch the first two when it drops. I don't know. I'm really trying to stay away from all kinds of social media. I'm not watching any reviews. I just want to go in like with no bias at all, so I can form my opinions. Because I know there's some people who are like, oh yeah, they've just decided already. Nothing will change their mind. It's bad, and then they'll just pick it apart, and then they'll try and disseminate that into the thing. And then there's also the people who are going to be super positive and not going to be afraid to criticize. So I just rather just keep in my bubble and then form my own opinions before branching out, because I'll probably just get annoyed if I start reading what people say.
Same.
I've got to say one of my hypotheses that maybe I'm overthinking. You have to let me know. But I was deep in that. What if Oda is not really involved?
What?
Because I did see. Let me land. I did see a little video on Insta, and Oda it was hiding his face.
Yeah, mangaka
So
do
I
that,
was like,
bruv. They don't want
but
people
we've
chasing
seen
them
his
down.
face. I've seen his face.
Yeah, but that was like 10 years ago. That picture's old,
Every older picture is Oda knows, like 10, 15 years.
Yeah, they don't like showing their
I thought he didn't
faces.
age. Well, my theory just went in the bin.
I'll be trying to do conspiracy theory, man.
I was about to drop the heat. I thought I was gonna go clear. Start another adjacent channel, the gel conspiracies.
And the same vibe was were the pyramids built by aliens.
You really thought they flew man out to Tokyo to meet fake Oda? Come on, man.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, why are we not seeing this guy's face?
That'd be nasty work, man.
That was so funny.
That'd be wild, man.
Like Oda and hug him and be excited for no reason. That's wild.
Shout out to the cast, man.
Yeah, to be fair, the cast are likable from what
They
I've
are.
seen so I mean, I think without intending to, One Piece has been the front foot of like what live action is gonna be. As I know you guys are not excited about the next one, but this is the one I had higher hopes going into that one more than One Piece, which was the Avatar one. Onto the debacle of like one of the characters pretending to be like another, but
I will
higher
not
hopes
be
going
there.
into it.
I'm
So
finished.
that's the one I'm like, I will be there, but I need to see it develop. Like if it develops like as good as One Piece does, then I'll be there front row seats.
I might
But
be
if
there,
it
but I might not
doesn't,
be paying.
but if it isn't, I'll see how it goes. But I think I think my rationalization is that it's impossible to do back to back horrendous live actions. And since it's going to be series as well, it's not going to be like it's going to be like a book 1, book 2, book 3 thing. And it seems like there's a lot of plan because like, I was showing my sister, like, I think it was like 2 days ago. I was showing my sisters. I didn't even watch the live action. You know when the Earthbenders like retaliate
No.
and a group of them were like dumping.
And they all struggle to lift one rock.
One rock.
One
Is that
meaty
what
rock.
happened in the movie?
They did like 1,000 dance moves, backflips, grunting, all of that. One rock.
Bro.
They're on serious stuff.
I'm not joking, Daniel. There's like 10 of them stomping, like in coordination. I thought they're gonna like lift 10 rocks individually. And there's one CGI rock moving and it barely hits the violation guy.
The worst thing I've seen in my life.
Is this,
Oh my
bro?
days, bro.
I mean, they've been calling him Ong. That's bad already, but that I think was the worst thing to happen in live action history because that was just horrendous. I was just like, wow. Even my mom was laughing at it. She seen me watch Avatar. Like, that's not Avatar, bro. I was like, exactly. So I can't imagine them being that bad again. So maybe it's not like I think it's just high hopes, basically.
Okay, yeah. That's why I didn't bother watching the Avatar, whatever it's called, by M Night Shyamalan. I hope that's how you say his name. That
You have
just
to butcher his name for that. What he did, to be fair.
no. Let's try to be respectful. But that's just I don't understand what the plan was. I don't understand why they did that because clearly in the show you see earthbenders lifting rocks with ease, even if it's big, and it's only when it's like the massive structure where you see them doing the gestures and you might need like 3 or 4 man to lift it. So I don't know what they were cooking in that film, and I'm happy I still haven't watched it to this day because you see I don't like wasting time, and that film is awful and I don't need to watch it.
The stove was off. They weren't cooking anything, bro. Just frying pan and just off.
They were burning
At
in
what
that
point-
kitchen.
Yeah, at what point do you think they knew they were making a mess and everything was being burnt? Because
When they called his name Ong, they should have known. That is when you know that this rice I'm cooking is starting to smell burnt. You have, it's not even a manga. You have the show saying Ang, 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 Ang. Kitana says his name 100 times, to the sucker and tough. Even the Fire Lord, and you still say Ong. Bro.
That's a monstrosity.
we should have never let them land. That was
At all.
That was crazy.
No, that's actually really bad. I can't lie to you. It's not even hard to say. It's not even hard to say.
Oh my god.
Hey, anybody could have done a better job than the people who were in that room.
Yeah.
Making a mess.
Such a high profile name as well for I don't understand how I really don't understand how that went about, yeah. But it kind of transitions. What do you think is the worst live action? I think mine is definitely Avatar.
Well, I've
And we
only
have
seen
only watched
one.
one.
Yeah, so and that Dragon Ball one, I don't know what they did to that. I don't know what Dragon Ball they were reading, because the Dragon Ball I was watching in that film was Goku going to high school. Like, what's going on, bruv?
Yeah,
Like,
it
come on,
had no
man.
redeeming qualities. Actually, had zero redeeming qualities. At
I
least
turned it off, man.
Avatar had some bits where I was like, do you know what? It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Like the princess, crazy.
Mm.
That's all I have to say.
And Aang looked like Aang, to be fair.
And he did. He did.
Because Goku was not Goku. I'm sorry,
You look like an American high schooler.
bro. I turned it off. I was like, no, I refuse. I didn't finish that movie.
It was bad. It wasn't good. I don't know. I really don't know what they had in mind, because the plot was just off. It was awful, and then like, the characters, it was dumb. Goku fighting on a car. I don't understand. I don't understand. I
They
don't.
went astray when they casted like a white guy to play Goku in the first place. So,
Mm. Yeah, but speaking of casting though, when it comes to do you think that's like a big thing where these live actions go wrong? Because obviously you mentioned with the Avatar, but the new Avatar, they were making the effort to make sure like the cast members actually looked like the people from the tribe. So do you feel like the casting is a big issue when it comes to live action?
massive issue, massive issue. I think that's the first thing that indicates, for me personally, let me not generalize to everyone, that indicates if the thing's going to be at least faithful to the series they're doing. If I'm because you know some anime characters or some like characters don't look like Asian, but at least don't automatically make the person white, or don't go the opposite way and just do nonsense wokeness and like all of a sudden Goku is black. Just it's not hard. There's so many great actors, young, like experienced or like upcoming. If this guy is South Asian, find a South Asian character play person to play him. I don't think it's that hard. I think that's what frustrates me a lot. I think it's a telltale sign if the live action is going to be bad or not. Because say anything you want about the Attack on Titan one, at least the characters look like Levi and Eren and everything because they were Asian, and it just looked like I'm watching a live action of Attack on Titan.
Even
Dragon
with the
Ball,
Promised Neverland one as well.
exactly. But Dragon Ball, I'm like, yeah, this what am I watching, bro?
I'm kind of like half and half. I think it is a significant part of the way the public or fans are going to view the show, and that's going to push it towards either being successful or failing. Because the first thing we're able to see, because we already have an understanding of what the storyline is going to take, we're already familiar with the characters. The first thing that's kind of out of our control that we're viewing for like first time for the show they're producing is the characters and the casting who they choose. And obviously it's probably in their interest to have them at least look as close as possible to their animated counterparts in some aspects, and not really drastically change anything unless they're making it clear what they're doing and it's for a specific reason, and they're making changes in the series for a specific reason. Other than that, I definitely am on the same line with Ed. Just keep it as close as possible to what we will come to expect from the anime and stuff like that. But it's nuanced because that's not really like the most integral part. It's whether the characters kind of bring the vibe of like, or embody somewhat the characteristics and stuff like that of the person they're attempting to play or act out.
I hear that. Yeah, I think that's fair. That's fair. I think I agree with both of those points. To be honest, yeah, I agree with you guys. Not much to add from me.
Yeah, yeah. But what do you guys think is the best live? It's hard for you, Daniel. But what do you think is the best live action you've seen?
Oh, well, seen then I can't answer because I haven't seen a good one. But the one that I know of is Rurouni Kenshin. I know that one is like I've seen a couple scenes. Jacko showed me, and yeah, they were cooking, man. They were cooking, bro. like the sword fighting in that. Poof. And they got the guy
Cold.
from McKenyu who's playing Zoro in the One Piece. He was in that, and they were going crazy with the sword play in that. So that's if you want a good live action, watch the Rurouni Kenshin movies.
Such a shame, bro, that that's the one that got a good live action.
It's a good manga. I mean, the author is redacted, but yeah.
That's what I'm hinting at. Like the one with the author is doing madness got a good live action. And it's a good series, like you said. But that's the one live action that my dad watched. I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
oh my god, it's really good. Yeah, I'm like, there's a live action of Rurouni Kenshin. It's like, yeah. I was like, damn.
That's kind of. Oh, I'm surprised by that.
That's just you hit me on the like out of nowhere. But yeah, I knew about that one. But he showed me some vids and like things as well. I was like, oh my god, it looks really good. Like you said, the fighting, the choreography of the fights, beautiful, beautiful.
For me, I really enjoyed Nana live action. I watched it a while back. It's a
Is it live action?
movie. Yeah,
That
Nana.
sounds good.
It's not recent. Came out in like 2006 or 2005, something like that. And just it's a series or that it would be easy to live action.
Yeah.
I think that's why I probably enjoyed it the most.
It's a
But I
messy
definitely
series.
recommend. Yeah, it's a very messy series. Very messy series.
Messy how?
Messy in terms of the characters, like in terms of like the situations they're in and the way they behave.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Okay.
realistic though.
Shout out to Nika.
That reaction seems like it's an interesting topic to pick up on. But my favorite, do you know? I think Rajal, you'd be surprised, but you know, half of the K dramas we watch are live actions.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. It's
That's
actually
why it's
crazy.
like, so there is good live action because my favorite, I think the best live action is a series called My D's Gundam Beauty, and that's the webtoon. And I watched the live action and we went to read the webtoon. The live action was better than the webtoon, personally. There might be a little bit of bias because I watched it first and I really like it. But reading the webtoons, I just didn't. It didn't hit. So I don't know if it's biased because I did the same thing for like Tokyo Ghoul when I read the anime first and I liked it a lot. Then when the manga, I was like, the anime is trash. But I didn't feel that for the live action. So I think, yeah, My D Gundam Beauty is really good when it comes to K drama. I don't know, it hit and it was easy. There's no crazy action scenes. It's just a slice of life, romantic kind of show, and it hit out of the park. It was really, really good. The main characters, I don't know, and the OST, bro. The K dramas and OSTs, man.
They
You
were
had me in my
hitting out of
feels,
the park. Hitting
bro. I had
absolutely out of the
lumps in
park.
my throat because I was crying because of the songs, bro. I'm like, oh my god, they did not just do it to her. And of course, there's always bullying. I'm like, wow, this poor
That's
girl.
a must, man. That's a must. That's the secret ingredient. Didn't you know?
It is a secret ingredient because if there's no bullying, the show doesn't hit like that. I can't lie to you. You feel sorry for one kind of character. So I think for me, I think that's the best live action I've ever watched. But yeah. Which goes into
choices, man.
good touches. But it makes me think like, what makes a good live action? Because I think you hit on it a little bit, Richard, when you said just just pick a show that's easy to translate into live action.
Yeah,
Don't go picking like Dragon Ball with like Beerus, you have to animate or like CGI into it. Pick something like Toradora.
Yeah.
But
I think the story is important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Simple stories that are more based on relationships and character dynamics and the world building and the world itself is nothing that is super integral to the viewing experience. Because when you have shows or series that the world building and the power system and stuff are super integral to the viewing experience and the understanding of the world and how the characters interrelate into that world, that's when it becomes harder to translate into live actions. But like you said, with all those kind of slice of lives and romance series and even some of the horror stuff, actually a lot of the horror stuff, you see how well they translate is because it's nothing super unusual. It's something that is already established in reality. The distinct differences and the things that kind of bring us or more attention towards it or push us to view those things is the story and the character. So yeah, that's what kind of I think.
Pretty good. Dan, I know you said you'll never be there for most live actions, but what do you think to draw you into a live action? What would you need to see, basically?
I think this is gonna be like because of recency bias, but I feel like the stuff that I've seen from the One Piece live action, where like I can see that the actors have engaged with the source material. The author is heavily involved, making their opinions known on certain scenes, how they should be shot, asking for reshots if needs be, having the director who's passionate about the series because the director is actually a One Piece fan and he's up to date with the manga. So these are all the things that I'm like, okay, cool. This shows me it's not just a Hollywood cash grab. This is actually people who have decided to take on the challenge and adapt this fantasy series into a real life setting and take this adaptation and add their own twist so it can suit the setting. So yeah, those are a couple of things.
Yeah, to be fair, I agree with both of you. Like heavy on everything you guys said. I think, like I said before, make sure the casting is somewhat realistic. Then I think, especially for One Piece, I think the connection between the cast and the fan base, I think that was really good on TikTok. Them reading the manga themselves. I think just the director, everyone involved in the making of the series, if they're involved with the source material like heavily, I think it takes something horribly going wrong for it to go wrong, I guess. But yeah, man, just I don't know. It was just I think a lot of anime fans have been hurt with the live action, so a bit more standoffish. But I think hopefully One Piece is the
Time for us
starting
to
point.
heal, innit? The One Piece is gonna heal those wounds, guys. Believe it. Believe it.
Believe it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Fingers crossed.
We'll see.
Fingers crossed.
But we'll be right back. We're gonna transition into the blank canvas review for all you good people. So we'll catch you after this quick break. And we're back. We're back. So as you know, we discussed we did a poll at the end of episode 30. You guys decided that we should read Blank Canvas after we discussed anime demographics. So we're just gonna give you our thoughts, takeaways, and anything else that comes to mind after we've all read it. Now I'm a bit I wouldn't say rusty, but it's been a while. But we're just gonna see how this goes. So I guess the first question I'll throw out there is just a basic one. What did you think?
Well, I'll set pace then. I thoroughly enjoyed Blank Canvas. I thought it was very different from anything I've kind of read, and drastically different. It was very mature. It was very real, very vivid. It made me kind of reflect on my own life. And very few mangas have the ability to be so like based in realism that you're thinking about your life journey so far. And it became for me more of, because I could tell from the writer's perspective, this was reflection and a way to somewhat say goodbye, but also somewhat cement her love and her appreciation for her journey, her regrets, and all of that. But it also made me personally think about, how and what I do and in my endeavors and the people around me, and try not to limit myself because of the insecurities that I have in the moment and stuff like that. So that's crazy that a manga can have that ability. Like, I think I haven't experienced something so life relevant as this. So maybe this is what I've been missing. The shoujo, right? This is is this what I've been missing, guys?
It was a Josei, but yeah.
Oh, Josei, that's it. That's the one. Bro, I think I've been missing out.
Yeah, same. It's been good, man. I think this series, it was a journey. Like reading the story, like her journey was a journey. Reading through it was a journey because it started off well, but it got to a point where it was repetitive. I think it was done on purpose to show how jarring this character is. That you think like she's talking about herself, bro. That's actually crazy that she managed to like describe like her life and like how flawed she was. Because like, what is wrong with you? I asked that question so many times reading this manga. Like, what is wrong with you, man? You're ungrateful, but I think I got to a point where I was just like, I couldn't stop reading. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I had anger, annoyance, joy, incredible sadness. I think it was just I haven't been so connected to a series since like one of my favorite series, Vagabond. I think that's saying a lot. I think I don't know. It made me appreciate a journey, like a certain character. I just loved him and her, like kind of like her, how she grew up and how she like the character development she had, even though it took so long to finally reach it, but and it took like a disaster kind of push her to be like a better person. But it was, I think it's a beautiful series. I think it's one of the series that I would recommend. Like you want to get into Josei, like Canvas. I feel it's a series that at least you need to read it once. I think I don't know the what is it called, the biopic or the that kind of aspect of story writing. I don't know. It seems like it's a hit, and I loved it, and it was great. It was great. I loved it.
I just want to quickly add the thing that kind of really surprised me is how funny it was.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I would literally just be laughing in bed, thinking, "What is this? What is this nonsense? Why is this so?" Like, I didn't, I could never imagine that a series that's a biopic about somebody's life could be so funny, entertaining. It had everything. There's nothing that it did not have in this series. And some series, obviously, in comparison, they focus on one aspect. When you're focusing on somebody's life, like it becomes so holistic because you're going to get the sad, the depression, the growth, the happiness, the joy. You're going to get everything. It felt so human. It felt so real. And it made me kind of adore her character and despise her simultaneously. Like when she's acting up and it's like I'll be so conflicted because I'll be reading it and she'll be so arrogant and she'd be talking her ish and she'd be going all out. Look at me. Oh, yes, I don't have to do this because I'm secured. I'm going to be a manga illustrator. Like, I know what I'm doing. Look at the art. Look at the, and she's no one. But simultaneously, she would then say something like, and have real perspective, even more dramatic perspective, where she's like, I'm not what I think I am. Maybe I'm going to fail. Maybe I'm not good enough. All of that, all encompassed into one human being. I was like, how can you feel so much? But then that's what's so human about her. Like she felt so much, and we got to see beautifully in such a well documented, format and time and chapters, a full story growth.
Yeah.
Elite series,
well said,
man.
Well said.
Yep. It was truly a beautiful story to read, and I think again I've said this before, but that because it was an autobiography, even though there was moments where I'm frustrated, I'm like, this is, if this was like a story, I'm like, oh, but why are you acting? But this is actually how you acted, and I just kind of made me, not only feel frustrated, but also like sympathize or empathize with her because I know when you're writing that this is stuff where you're looking back and you're just thinking about why did I act this way? Why did I act this way? And it's because like, you have those moments in life where you think, okay, in the moment, but then you don't have that hindsight to think about if I did those things differently. But sometimes with life you don't have that. If you don't do those things, you don't become the persons you are. So like it was just a lot of painful experiences which like it kind of reminds you how difficult life can be, but it also reminds you about how it kind of those moments shape you into becoming the person, and also like the journey as well. Like you said, it took the character development, but it's not even it's even funny like to put it as character development, but this is just like life experience.
Life.
She just got life experience, and that's how she changed as a person. And like there were so many phases where I'm just questioning like why are you doing this? But he's just like you don't have the you in that moment she just didn't have the I guess the capacity to think that way. And you I had to always think about like, okay, I can't get angry because this is just how she was thinking at that time, and I know she probably was writing that, and she's just like, oh, I know, and you even know because she's writing about, oh, why did I act this way? Why did I act this way? But
Mm.
yeah, this was definitely one of the best series I've read because I just think it just hit on a different level, and I think the message was just so there were so many messages to take away when you're reading it, especially like
Powerful.
from different characters and especially from the main character and then the mentor himself. He was just a powerful individual and
Iconic.
inspirational as well.
Yeah, like I think for me, I'm interested in what you guys kind of took away from it, what was like what you guys learned from it, because this is one of those things where it is unlike anything that we've kind of discussed. Because what we learn from this is actually great real life application and stuff like that.
I think for me, I think the most what I related to the most in the whole story, I think was the feeling of regret. Because you guys said like she always constantly like, why did I do that, bro? Why did I say that? Why didn't I just pick up that phone call? Why didn't I just do this? I think that feeling of self-reflection, I think I connect to the most because of I think me as a person, how much I self-reflect, like I should have done this, I should have done that. I think it translated into like if I feel like I need to do something now, I shouldn't push it away. And I think just do it now because you might regret it. Whether it's like so no matter how little it feels or how massive it feels, I think doing something in the now and not pushing it further like that kind of procrastination because she was the king of procrastination, bro. It was ridiculous sometimes,
Did that for
but
4 years.
it's crazy. But like you said,
4 years.
that's real. That's what most people do. I've done that
It's
many times.
true. So
So when
true.
sometimes like I find myself like this stupid girl. I'm like, bro,
Sorry.
you've done that before. You've been in this position and you've done the exact same thing. So don't
Likewise.
sound so hypocritical right now. So I was like, oh,
Likewise.
yeah. But that gets me first before I even realize like, oh, she's writing about herself. I get back like, what are you talking about, Ed? You've done this. I can remember like 7 times you've done this specific thing, and you're so angry about this character. Then I'm like, oh wait, she's also writing about the past, and now she's regretting it. So it's like a double kind of level of like, oh, self-realization. Like this is what it's supposed to like display. So I think I don't know how she did it, but I don't know, it hit me, especially with that kind of self-reflection and like how to tackle regret and stuff. I think it was really well done.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me, similar to Ed, like, you know, that feeling of regret, but I think the motto of the mentor when he's just talking about just draw, I feel like that line is just really powerful to me because I feel what I was taken away from it is just like when you if you want to do something, just try and start. Like everyone always says like the start is the hardest thing. And I feel like that's what he was trying to emphasize. Like you might be in a rut, but just try and do something, see where it takes you, and just at least try. Like always, just try and do it because the feeling of regret is just like an awful feeling. And you know, there was moments in the series where, especially, I think I talked with Ed, like when she was in university, she worked so hard to get there. And then when she's
Mm.
there, she can't even draw, and she's just missing the
Mm.
classes. And then for me, I was just thinking like, how could you do all this work? And like I was just looking at her and it was like I was learning like, okay, so this is actually like what people like go through. Like they just lose the passion when you've achieved your goal and you don't know where to go after. You've done all this work but and you've got there. Now you don't know what to do next. And I think that kind of highlights about like you might have a plan and sometimes you're on the right track, but then you might get lost as well. So always being, I guess, not flexible, but like open to new opportunities and trying to keep your mind active so you don't lose the passion. Because I felt like when she was at uni, she lost the passion, but she came home and she had the passion because he was there coaching her.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that was really good as well because I think it's like a I can't remember the lyric properly from like a Drake, but it said like I want to be, I want to have the same kind of like vim or same kind of level of like chasing after things, because he had like a picture of like a house he wanted to get, and he was like chasing and working so hard to get it. Then he got it, and it's just like yeah, it is what it is. So I think just a kind of like she tried so hard to get to uni. Like that's what she was doing. She, after trying so hard, she finally got it. Then she's like skipping classes and going to the beach and stuff like that. Like this is what you kind of, for the longest time in your life, this is what the aim was. Now you finally got it, and you're like, I'm here now. It is what it is. I think, and I felt that a lot as well, because we always talk about we need anime and manga about university. I think this was it a little bit. I'm like, I've done that a little bit. It's like, I want to do this, and I get there. I'm like, I find myself like, I'll take 2 hours. I'll take one more hour sleep, and I go in late. I was like, it's crazy because the opportunity you have is how hard I fought for it. But now I'm like, I'm too tired to do this. I'm too tired to do that. It's just the wild concept, but I think it affects most people, and I think it's a very tough battle to get off that kind of like state of like being.
Yeah, I'm definitely also going to add to what you just said about the opportunity, because even before like I died, like just go deeper, what I saw was something that is so real, because when she had loads of time to do the work, she didn't do it. And then when she had zero time, then she was putting in the work.
Yeah,
Which is the funniest thing. Why is that so real in this life?
Bro,
you know what I mean?
lastminute.com, bro. That's what my mom calls it, lastminute.com. I do that every single time.
Every single
I'll do it. I
time.
have 2 months. I have enough time. Then the week before, I'm like, damn.
It's time to lock in,
Why did I
guys.
leave it for this long? I've been doing all-nighters, have no sleep, drink like 5 cups of coffee. But like, you have so much time to do it.
So much.
And you didn't do it. But now you're suffering and your eyes are red because you have no sleep. But it happens, man. It's crazy.
No, it does. And I think that's why when I saw her, it was weird. It's because, just being transparent, I legit saw myself. I was seeing bits of me in her. You know what I mean? So when I was reading it, and I think that's probably why I enjoyed it so much more, because it's like you're reading and also providing you an opportunity to really learn and to really evolve and to really be an active participator in your life, and not just like a passenger going through the flow and really attacking stuff. And that's why I love the sensei. Was it Hidaka? My guy was an incredible motivator, an incredible leader, incredible supporter of kids that needed opportunity. Maybe they didn't fully believe in themselves, just needed a voice that's always saying one thing: draw, draw, draw. And it was the persistency of that, whereas like that's the application. Because it's like, for example, for us, bro, the thing is, you probably just say record, 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 record. You know what I mean? It's like the act of doing it is half the battle. It's probably the biggest battle, coming and actually doing it. After that, you're going to build a habit. After that, it becomes beyond emotion and feeling. It's just a natural thing that you do. And it's like, as she developed towards the end of the series, she said herself, she said, look at me, because of those days when I just drew, because you said just draw, I'm now able to draw in any circumstance. I'm now able to, in any condition. It doesn't matter if I'm tired, doesn't matter if I'm like, she's built that resilience, built that habit, and now it's in essence second nature. What this series, man.
He's just, I don't know, like he must have been, I don't know how to, he was probably sent from God, because like the patience he demonstrated with her, because there was so many moments in her life where she could have easily, completely given up on her, but he still always gave her the grace to come back and be comfortable even when she had lost her way. And I don't know, I feel like that's why I feel like this manga, even though it's like a look back on some of the mistakes, it's more like a what's the word again? homage to him, just to give him that platform and to just show like this is the person who is really important in my life and helps me to become the mangaka I am today and gave me the skills and the fundamentals because like he's just an amazing person.
He's so amazing because not even give up. Like the amount of times I should have been angry. Like, what do you mean you're not picking up my phone? And he would shout a little bit. Then it's like, actually, that doesn't matter. Are you drawing? Are you okay? Are you drawing? Are you sure you're drawing? Are you painting? Like, bro, I was like, you brat. What do you mean you're not picking up my phone calls, man? Not Bundes. Don't call me. Don't come to my place again. I want no relationship with you. Like, don't call me your teacher, bro. Just leave me alone. But it's just
That
like
reminded me of the
every
what's it called?
time.
It reminded me of the scene in some show. Well, don't call me. Don't. I forgot. I don't know what show it is, but it's crazy.
Yeah. Like, don't call me. Don't text me, bro. Like, just don't do nothing. But he like, he almost like, nah, there's no point of getting angry. I just need to make sure that you're okay and you're painting. Are you painting? Do you still like painting? How about when you come back home, just come visit and come paint again. Come draw. I'm like, bro, the paint, like, Daniel, you're right. It must have been sent from God, bro. Because there's no way any human, even a parent's like, bruh, what's wrong with you? I
Parents are
think
funny.
he had more patience than her parents, man. I think he had more patience for her than she had for herself.
Oh,
Hmm.
100%. 100%.
That says a lot. I think it was good. And it wasn't just to her as well, which is even crazy. Because obviously, from our point of view, from our perspective, but the old guy who like taught to draw like a box of tissues every time,
Yeah.
so many students to the point where students from everywhere came back to look after him to show how much impact he had in other people's life. Bruh, he's one of my favorite characters, man, in any kind of manga or series. He's so vital to the lives of so many people. It's actually crazy, yeah. And he's funny, and he's a bit strict with the beating with the ruler, but some of these kids needed it, bro. Especially the one with dreads that came back.
Oh, you're
Man,
mean for
like,
that.
cracked me up, bro.
Oh my
I could not
days.
recognize that guy.
I'm
I was like, who
serious.
is this?
Who's that
Man,
Jamaican you? And then they're like, wait, he's that guy.
but
With dreads.
for so much for a manga that who draws so much like sad emotions a little bit. I laughed way too many times,
So
bro.
many times.
Well, yeah, as a character, I think he's amazing. He's amazing.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess as we come to the close, I guess any final comments before we wrap this up?
My final comment is that at least to one person in our lives, we have to have that kind of grace towards them, because you don't know what kind of impact that it might not be straight away, but further on upon reflection, it might produce a great change, and then that change will also have impact on others. And I think especially in society today, we tend to be in a rush and so locked in our own lives that we forget to have that kind of grace and patience with people, because people are we're very complex, and sometimes we just need time.
Mm-hmm. I think one thing I took out of it is I think just following your own goal and your own dream, because I think I related a lot to her a little bit, and she wanted to do manga, even though she was scared to say it to like so many people, and that's what she wanted to do, and she stuck to it to the end. To be fair, and she's like, "What? We're talking about manga right now." I think just sticking to your own goals and not like letting anyone like distract you from it a little bit. Because my own experience was like, I think I was like discouraged from one part to go to another part, and it's like it didn't, like, surprise, it didn't go well because that's not what my focus was. I think just focus on that and get all the help you need. Don't be afraid of saying what your goal is or what your dreams are, and we'll just work hard in it, man. And I think you'll be surprised how much you can achieve.
I agree. I think transparency and being open, honest about what your goals are is very important because, like you said, she was hiding that goal from the beginning. And she thought that the guy would disapprove. But I'm confident if she had said from the beginning, "Oh yeah, I want to draw manga," he would have fully supported that. And but I feel like obviously that was also
Yeah.
part of her journey. So I feel like that's
Mm.
one thing that I've taken away, just being open to
Mm.
being honest, and also like not being afraid to change her goals as well, because obviously she was doing art and then she had to do other jobs as well. Sometimes you might have to do that to get to your ultimate goal, but no matter the journey, just know that if you keep it in sight, like Ed said, you'll get there eventually. Or sometimes you might go in a completely different direction, but you know, as long as you're doing something that keeps you happy, you should be in a better place. But yeah, this was episode 33, another one in the books. Yeah. Ed and Rachel were with me today as always, and
Yes, sir.
we'll catch you guys in the next one as always. Peace.
Later.
Deuces.